Welcome back to Tarot by the Bay. I'm David. It's my last reading of the night, April 18th, Tuesday night. Car loans. I want to talk about car loans for a little bit. My wife and I just purchased a used car the other day, about a week ago. And, you know, it was a high mileage car. You can hold on to it for a few years, maybe longer. And we applied for financing. We ended up paying cash for the car, but we applied for financing just as a negotiation tool with the car dealership. Now, mind you, our credit ratings are excellent and our salaries are such that even if we needed to finance the entire car, we could have done it easily. In this case, we were looking at just a loan of $10,000, not even $10,000, but ballpark $10,000, say, and over a 5-year period. And again, this was purely for negotiation tactics, so we can get maybe a lower price while negotiating and then just go ahead and pay off the loan. Well, we ended up paying cash and we walked away from it and quite happy with the car. You know, it's got some things wrong with it that weren't disclosed, but that's my fault because I didn't ask. But enjoying it. What is of interest, though, is that we got a letter today from the company that was going to give us a loan, and they rejected us. And the reason why they rejected us is that the car had too high a mileage on it. Now, the car did have 135,000 miles on it. It's a 2017, which is a lot of miles on a car. You know, you're looking at 20,000 miles, 23,000 miles a year. Now, truth be told, pre-pandemic, back in 2010, I had a Toyota Prius, and my commute to work 5 days a week, I'd put on 22 to 23,000 miles a year. So I look at this car and I'm not scared off by it because it would have been the same Prius that I had back in 2010, 6 years later. It has the same mileage on it. This one happens to be a plug-in, so even more fun for me. Now, my wife and my credit score, we both applied for it, and you know, I had the lower of the two credit scores, and out of 850, my score was an 846. So it's not like I got bad credit. I'm not bragging, but that's just what the numbers were. So I want to find out what's going on with car loans. If I can't qualify for a $10,000 loan with an 846 credit rating for, you know, this car loan is a very small fraction of what my wife's combined take-home pay is. It's like, what's going on? If I can't qualify, good Lord, what's it going to be like out there for people trying to get car loans in the near future? Now, again, they rejected us because of the high mileage, but it shouldn't matter. So, Spirit, what can you tell us about car loans for 2023? It's a nightmare. Oh, okay. So I don't know if anybody here watches TikTok or other reels or something like that. I've been fascinated on the occasional video that pops up on my TikTok about people saying, oh, what's your car payment? How much is your car payment? And folks saying $800 a month, $650, $800, $850, $900. Multiple people with over $1,000 a month for a car payment. Mind you, our car payment would have been like not even $200 a month or something like that. But good heavens, this is going to be a nightmare because interest rates have gone up. So anybody who's trying to get a car loan now, it's going to be just that much more expensive to do. And car prices have been absolutely crazy. So it's getting more and more difficult to find a car, especially a used car, and much less a used car that's in the, say, $10,000 range, because you're competing with a lot of people to get those. So it's a nightmare crossed with the chariot, and it's going to continue. It might be out of control for a while. Okay, so asking about auto loans, and I think auto loans are going to be really difficult, and things might go off the rails with regards to auto loans in 2023. Okay, so show us what's going on. Okay, so in the past, things have been changing. The car market's been changing very rapidly. It wasn't that long ago that, you paid MSRP on a car, unless it was a really hard to get car, you were a fool. Because that's just like giving money away. Now all these dealers have markups. And they'll say it's supply chain and chips. I think the car dealerships are just trying to fleece their customers by limiting new car supply. It's actually catering more and more towards wealthy people. They're getting rid of the lower trim lines. They're loading up the cars. Then they add a $10,000 dealer markup on it, at least in California, with some of the more desirable vehicles. And all of a sudden, this whole market has changed. It's going to be very difficult for poorer people or people of lower incomes to get. They're going to get priced out of the new cars. And if there's no new cars, there's a limited number of used cars. This is also exasperated by the fact that rental car companies dumped their fleets a couple of years ago when COVID started, and they didn't replace them. So you don't get the rental cars in there to support the used car market. So it's a difficult situation right now. The Page of Pentacles. I think young people with money went out and got a car loan, and now they're strapped. They are now strapped big time with that car loan. Again, when you're paying $1,000 a month for a car loan, and and you're younger and not making as much, that's a big chunk of your paycheck out this, and might be kind of a foolish monetary decision. Let's see what the overarching energy is. Retreating, contemplation. I think there's going to be a real pullback, a real. I don't think of this as a recession for the economy. It could be. The economy, the economy could cool down. Maybe some people are going to lose their jobs. But I also think that this is probably representing it getting more and more difficult to get a car loan, because the car loan, the banking industry, they're either trying to get out of doing car loans, or they're being extremely selective who they're going to give it to, and they're not going to give it to just anyone. As I found out, apparently. This is not good. This might cool down the car market too, but that's not a good overall energy. I don't like that for car loans getting reasonable again for people. And I don't like that for their financial stability coming up later on in this year, going into next year. The lesson to be learned is the greed. This is the greed of the car companies, just fleecing their customers. Like, I've got 9 cars behind me. They all have $10,000 markups. Oh, you don't want to pay $10,000 markup. That's okay. We'll sell it to the next guy. True story. When we were at this dealership, there was a brand new Toyota RAV4 Prime back there. It's the lower trim model, which I guess is a harder one to get. And I think the base price was $48,000. That's the MSRP price. And after dealer markup, it was $63,000. They're adding a $15,000 dealer markup. And so I wanted my wife to hop in just to check out to see what the fabric interior was like and the general layout of the RAV4. And the salesman who we bought our Prius from was asking, well, what did you think of the RAV4? It's like, oh, it's beautiful. It's great. I really like it. Oh, you interested in it? Sure, I'll buy it for MSRP. Oh, well, you can't get these things at MSRP. I might be able to come down from $15,000 markup to, $59,000, $11,000 markup. Wow. Do me a favor. And then he calls over another salesman and says, hey, what's the lowest price you've seen a RAV4 Prime sell for? And the guy says, I don't know, 60, 61,000. Like, for some reason, he thought that we didn't believe him that they were selling these cars for $60,000 when they were a $50,000 car, and that people were paying a $10,000 dealer markup. I absolutely believe people were doing that. I also believe people are darn idiots. I'm not giving the dealership $10,000 extra on top of MSRP. Good heavens. I mean, when you drive off the lot, usually the car's worth, a third less. So if you're talking a $50,000 car, that's a $33,000 car when you drive it off the lot, or call it $60,000. No, $50,000. It's a $33,000 car off the lot, and you paid, $60,000 plus all the other stuff, tax, license, and everything like that, which is going to get you closer to $67,000. So you go from $67,000 to $33,000 by driving it off the lot. 50% drop in depreciation like that. Now, that's not really true because the used car market's crazy. And I've been seeing that same RAV4 Prime with 15,000 miles on it, selling for MSRP. So it's not as dire as that, but you get the idea. That's $10,000 lost that you're never going to see again. Not to mention all the tax and everything. This is not the time to be in the car market, to be buying a car. And if you have to, I'm sorry. Outcome, the lover's card. So we're asking what's going to happen with car loans. I think you're going to have to look at establish a relationship. And know what this is? You have to shop around. You have to shop around for dealers that are more interested in having a customer relationship with you than just selling you a car for profits. So there is a dealership around here in Redwood City that sells all their Toyotas at MSRP. So you can imagine they don't have a lot of stock on their showroom floor because they sell it because they're not asking for $5,000 over MSRP. They sell it at MSRP, which is still good profit for them. But what they're doing is they're building a loyal customer base. So go find a car dealership that will give you a loyal customer base, but also, work with your bank. You're going to have to do some work with your bank in order to get that car loan too, so that you can afford that. Because underneath it, they ain't giving the money. They ain't playing no more. The banks aren't playing. They're looking at people really, really hard, and they're making really harsh judgments as to who's going to get a loan and who doesn't. So, again, to summarize, it's a nightmare out there trying to get a car loan, and car loans are going to be even harder to get as the year moves on. Why? That the car market is changing quickly. Too many people have spent too much money on cars, and they're being taken advantage of by dealers. Basically, we need the market to cool down so that the dealers don't take advantage of people, because right now they're taking advantage of people. You don't want to spend $10,000 over MSRP, somebody else will. So find a dealer who's reputable, who wants to build a customer base, work with your bank, and you might be able to get through this without being scathed too harshly. That's my reading. Good luck, everyone. If you like this video, entertainment purposes only. If you like, I try not to give financial advice. This is actually my first financial video. I try not to do that because you can get yourself into real trouble. So again, this is for entertainment purposes only. This is not meant to be guidance on negotiating car prices or investments or anything along those lines. You're free to do whatever you like. It's your money, it's your life, your choices. You get all the good stuff that goes with it and all the consequences that come along. So if you want to pay $10,000 over MSRP, God bless you. That ain't me. Hope you have a good night. Do all the YouTube-y things, please. Thumbs up, leave comments, share the video if you will. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. As we now begin the slow march to 1,000 by hitting our next target of 700 subscribers. I hope you have a great night, and I'll catch you on the next video. Bye-bye.